In this episode of Horse of the West, it's the Low Roller Reining Classic at the Fort Idaho Center in Nampa. We'll bring you all the action from the open and non-pro derbies and futurities and dog racing. Dog racing? And dog parades.
It was a fun-filled week.
We'll meet some laid-back derby horses.
She's just sweet to be around, easy.
She's a very kind mare.
He's just the nicest little stud to have around.
And some less laid-back futurity horses.
She'll wreck sheets and tear stuff down off the wall.
This horse is goofy.
He's obnoxious on the ground.
In Your Horse Inside and Out, sponsored by Beringer Ingelheim, Dr. Joe Carter brings us what he says is a controversial topic in equine medicine, navicular x-rays. That's all in this episode of Horse of the West. Welcome to the Great Western Reining Horse Association Low Roller Reining Classic from the Fort Idaho Center in Nampa. This event has more to offer than just horse showing.
It was a fun-filled week. I mean, we had all kinds of things. We had the Idaho Horse Park Foundation, which helps supports the horse park here. They hosted a little meet and greet for us. You know what? They were serving beer and wine, and we had some tacos, and just had it was a welcoming party. And boy, was it. It was a great welcoming party. We had, we do Cowboy Church. We had that. We had a live band one night. I mean, this guy was incredible. The Chris Eager Band, incredible guitar player, let alone singer. We had a great time. We decided we needed to have a dog fashion show. So it was actually going to be a kids event. And all the adults was like, whoa, wait a minute, we want to get in on this too. So it was like, dog fashion show parade. We had dog races. You set these kind of things up and you go like, well, I wonder if we're going to get 2 or 3 dogs out there. They were stretched all the way across the arena. It was so much fun. It was just a great time. We had a movie night for the kids, the little ones, the young ones. They sat around here in the lobby and had popcorn. My grandson decided he needed to have a popcorn machine, so we got one. And oh man, if that wasn't a hit.
And the proof this show's a hit is the presence of a $1 million rider who came all the way from just north of the Texas border in Oklahoma.
You don't need to say it anymore. Danny Tremblay came up here to show at our horse show. He didn't go to the Congress. He didn't go to the Best of the West. He drove farther to come up here and show. I mean, it's a good facility, good people, great prizes, good money.
Danny Tremblay made the long trip here to Nampa because he's trying to be one of the top 5 money earners in the NRHA come the end of the year, and he knows there's a lot of cash on the line here.
It's amazing the way they run it. I don't know everybody around at the office and everything, but they're doing an amazing job as far as keep you in touch about the scores, about the draws, about the way they do things. Everything is fun. Like the draw parties every night, it's fun.
The Low Roller and its sister shows in the GWRHA have plenty of prize money on the line.
Our purse for the Low Roller is over $280,000. But the neat thing is that between all 3 shows that we have, we're going to pay out over $760,000, $750,000 out of little old Nampa, Idaho here. You know what? Boy, if that ought to just shake the rafters a little bit, we're all in. That's a low roller term, right? Yeah, we're all in. Yeah.
Let's go all in on the non-pro derby action, where riders who aren't paid to train horses will take to the dirt on 4 to 7-year-old horses they or their families own. First up, 2021 NRHA non-pro futurity champions Jennifer Gilliam of Pine Grove, California, and 5-year-old Surprising 66 by $1 Million sire Inferno 66 out of Done with Surprises. Jennifer trains with NRHA professional Jordan McBurney and is helping to wrangle Jordan's daughter Millie here at the Low Roller.
The mare knows, good and bad, who's riding her. Like you can, when Jordan rides her, she's a little more, I guess up and she'll give you a little more, Millie. And when I'm riding her, she's maybe a hair lazier, but I like her like that. And I really feel like, our legs are a lot different lengths, so she knows who's riding her.
Jennifer and Surprising 66 score a 219.5 to take the lead for now. Royal Warbits of British Columbia, Canada is next to go, riding 6-year-old TR Dream About Me by $9 Million sire Magnum Chick Dream out of Red Hot Walla. They take over the lead with a 220.5. Stephanie Porath of Idaho Falls and Gonna Be Expensive are our last team with a shot at the lead. This mare is a 6-year-old daughter of $10 million sire Gunatrasha out of Wizen Starlight. Between Reining and her day job, Stephanie says she is keeping busy.
I started doing traveling nursing, and so I've put probably 2,000 miles driving this week just to get here back and forth. It's been it's exhausting, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do to, like, you know, pay for this and pay for your kids and everybody, right?
Well, a $4,800 check ought to help. Stephanie and Gonna Be Expensive score a 222 to take the title here in the Non-Pro Derby. Let's go to the Open Derby action where Austin Seelhoff of Alberta, Canada is riding 7-year-old Got a Shiny Peso by NRHA $6 million sire Spook's Got a Whiz out of CB Shine, owned by Paul Luchik.
He hadn't been shown for a while when I got him, and so it took us a little while to get in the same groove this spring and kind of figure each other out, and he's really come on for me, and we seem to be getting along really well. He's been showing good this fall.
Austin and Peso roll into a 222.5 to get us started. Riding Extra Voodoo Doctor by $3 million sire Shiner's Voodoo Doctor out of Wound Up Wimp, here's Enterprise Oregon's Matt McDowell. Matt and Extra Voodoo Doctor have a super run and earn a whopping 227 from the judges, the highest Matt has ever scored on this horse.
He went out there and just ran an amazing run. I'm so excited about it. Got a great owner, Mona Bodness. She's just been so good to me and my family. I'm just thankful. My wife's just supported me with this horse, and she believes in this horse. She's the one that picked this horse out, and she keeps telling me he's getting better and you're getting with him, and I tell you, she's been a blessing.
From Arlington, Washington, this is Sean McBurney and a 4-year-old mare named Addie's Little Dream by Magnum Chick Dream out of the Great Show mare and producer Miss Little Attitude, owned by David Stroud. She's called Maddie around the barn.
She gives you a lot of confidence in everything, you know what I mean? I was just wanting to make sure I could have got to that middle stop better. Usually she'll grab just another gear and really kind of get to that middle stop, but she just kind of lingered just a hair. So I should have just sent her just a little harder to that one, you know. She can never send her, you can send her as hard as you want. She's just gonna drill it.
Sean and Maddie tie for second with a 222.5. $1 million rider Danny Tremblay of Marietta, Oklahoma is running the pattern now on Raising the Bar by PS Megashine Chick, aka Crush, a stallion Danny rode through his show career. This 5-year-old mare is out of Chick in the Bar and owned by Diamond Dub Quarter Horses.
She's super fun on the ground. Anybody can ride her at home. The kids ride her. Kalisha rides her. I ride her just sometime. I don't need to do much on her.
Danny and Raisin have a nice run and slide into second now behind Matt McDowell and Extra Voodoo Doctor with a 225. Jordan McBurney, wife of Sean McBurney, is next to ride on This Chick's Done Drinkin', a 4-year-old mare by $2 million sire Whiskey and Diamonds out of another big performing mare, This Chick's Done Dreamin', owned by Lauren Booth. Jordan and This Chick's Done Drinkin' move into third with a 223 behind Danny and Raisin. Matt McDowell's 227 still leads it, and up next is Nicole Rennick of Sultan, Washington, riding a horse owned by Kylie Holloway. This is a 5-year-old named High and Mighty by $10 million sire Gunatrasha out of Electra Nikki.
To train and be around in general, he's fabulous. He's super easy for a stallion. You wouldn't even know he was a stud, but he's a joy to train. He's easygoing and just all around a great horse to be around.
Nicole and High and Mighty take over a third from Jordan McBurney, earning a 223.5 from the judges here in Nampa. And now here's Danny Tremblay, who's sitting second with that 225 on his second mount. This is his last chance to take the lead. He's on another son of PS Megashine Chick, aka Crush, out of All Guns on Deck, named All Guns on Crush.
He's like a baby on the ground. He wants to play all the time. He wants to bite all the time. And maybe because he's kind of part of my family, that horse, you know. Yeah. I just like his personality and the way he is for sure.
Danny and All Guns on Crush laid down another big run. He tops his earlier score by half a point, earning a 225.5. Now that is going to mean the Open Reserve Championship for them here in Nampa and a check for $4,100. So Matt McDowell and Extra Voodoo Doctor cinched the Open Derby Championship and a $6,000 payday.
I've never had that feeling where I got every part of that pattern just where I needed it. It wasn't perfect, but it was good. Good. And it's the first time I ever feel like I really got everything out of that horse.
When we come back, the full scoop on the non-pro futurity.
I despise lead changes with every fiber of my being.
I almost fell off right before I went and schooled him in the pen a couple days ago.
We'll be right back. Don't ride off. Welcome back to Horse of the West. We're at the Ford Idaho Center in Nampa for the Great Western Reining Horse Association Low Roller Reining Classic. It is time for the non-pros to take their turn in the arena on their 3-year-old futurity horses. DeLacy Hubbard of Brownsville, Oregon is up first on H.F. Freeze brand by $1 Million sire S.G. Frozen Enterprise, called Sport.
He's a character, tons of personality. He's a very sweet, very kind horse. I really love having him around. To ride, he's a little feely. He is a little quirky, gets a little anxious, but he tries really hard.
The judges give DeLacy and Sport a 2:15. They'll be headed down the road next to Oklahoma City for the big NRHA Futurity.
It's my first time. I'm not nervous in the sense of like going with him. It's just a big experience for me. So yeah.
From Saskatchewan, Canada, this is Lane Kirk on Flynn Favorite by In Like Flynn out of Sweet Little Cat Step. There are some maneuvers Lane likes more than others.
I love to circle horses. I like to go fast, and she's super fun. I know that as long as I keep kicking her right up to center and I take my legs off, she's going to come back every time. And she did that today. I despise lead changes with every fiber of my being. I suck at lead changes, and I will say that every time.
Like most non-pros, Lane has a day job to keep up with.
I work shift work a lot, so I don't have time to keep a horse at home. So I only get out once a month for maybe 2-3 rides. So that's been a bit of a learning curve, and she's very, very different from anything else I've ridden. She's a really feely, talented horse, and this is my first big horse.
Lane and Flynn Favorite earn a 2:16.5 for their run, which will put them in first. Brooke Boyle of Ione, California is up next on The Good Doctor, a homebred by $3 Million sire Shiner's Voodoo Doctor out of Buena Spook.
This horse is goofy. He honestly was goofy to start. He's very sensitive. He gets scared of a lot of things. There was a rack that went by the other day, and I almost fell off right before I went and schooled him in the pen a couple days ago. We put a little jolly ball in his stall. That kind of helps him, his support jolly ball. But I always feel like the good ones have a little bit of quirk to them.
Brooke's the mom of 6-month-old Avery, who's getting an early start in the horse world.
It's pretty cool to get to start bringing my daughter and getting to show her around too.
Brooke and the Good Doctor make their run for a 2:14.5. Next to go, Stephanie Porth of Idaho Falls on Gonna Prosper, the full brother to Gonna Be Expensive, who she rode earlier in the Derby. Stephanie and her family raised this horse, and Stephanie says she knew she wanted him from the get-go.
There was a few of them out in the pasture when they were babies, and I picked him as when he was a baby. I said, that one's mine. His demeanor and the way he just kind of acted out with all the other ones, he was just real laid back and just kind of was... I just liked how he was.
With Lane and Flynn's Favorites 2:16.5 still at the top of the scoreboard, Stephanie and Gonna Prosper run the pattern and fall just short with a 2:16, which will earn them the reserve championship, making Lane and Flynn Favorite the 2023 Low Roller Reining Classic non-pro futurity champions. When we return, we'll see all the action from the Open Futurity. These colts have some big personalities.
She's kind of a funny little horse on the ground.
He's kind of a goofball, but we love him.
She'll wreck sheets and tear stuff down off the walls, things like that.
He's obnoxious.
All that and more when we come back. Welcome back to Horse of the West. This week coming to you from the Great Western Reining Horse Association Low Roller Reining Classic in Nampa, Idaho. With the non-pro futurity finished, the open riders are next to go, with Jesse Beckley of British Columbia, Canada, up first. His mount is Daybreaker, a.k.a. Magic, by Spook's Got a Whiz out of Water Sunrise, owned by Knott Property Holdings. Jesse found this horse for the Knott family after a lot of searching.
Yeah, I was looking for something with a really strong bottom side, and I was looking for something that kind of had that little extra look. They wanted something that they thought could be a real contender at the majors, and I looked at a lot of them, and I after about 100 horses. It was actually the last horse I looked at. I phoned him and I said, you know, guys, I said, this is the one. It's a little outside our budget, but I said, this is the one.
Magic proves he's worth that extra cash with a score of 221 here at the Low Roller Reining Classic. Adam Hendrickson is riding a daughter of Magnum Chick Dream named Kay Bella, who was raised by owner Linda Wise.
We just call her Bella. We're not real clever when it comes to barn names. She's kind of a funny little horse on the ground. She's not a real big horse. She looks bigger out there than what she is.
Adam and Bella put it together today for a 221.5 to take the lead from Jesse Beckley and Magic by half a point. But Jesse has another shot at the title with his second mount. This Got a Little Crush, another daughter of PS Mega Shine Chick, aka Crush. This mare is called Peach at home.
She'll get into mischief. She'll wreck sheets and tear stuff down off the walls, things like that. But she's, like I said, she's just a little bit immature, and I think she's really starting to come to the party now.
Jesse and Peach will not be our new leaders, but they still come away with a pretty peachy 218 to move into third. Here's Marie O'Neill of Far West Utah on HF Shockja, nicknamed Leo by HF Mobster out of Shock Star Groupie, owned by the O'Neill's Ranch Heritage Farm.
So I was on maternity leave. I had a baby in February, so I was slow starting into the year. Didn't really go anywhere very far. I've done a couple shows in Utah just to kind of get my feet wet and get him in the pen. I went to the high roller and unfortunately had a big bobble there. Didn't get shown, so I kind of came back here. Went back in two hands and just was trying to build his confidence and was trying to build my confidence before going to Oklahoma.
It's a 218.5 for Marie and Leo, which bumps Jesse and Peach out of third. Now here's Jordan McBurney on a mare owned by Rhodes River Ranch. This is She's a Little Icy, the only mare Jordan kept out of Sparklin' Whiskey, a mare she showed and formerly co-owned.
She's exactly like her mother.
That's good.
Yes, it's a great quality because her mom I won like $45,000 on, and it just makes it a lot easier to prepare her. I think I've done a better job on her than I did her mother just because I know what I'm showing.
Jordan and She's a Little Icy move into third with a 219. Jackson Porth is next to go, and he's also riding a horse out of a mare he showed. This is Diggin' in the Starlight by Paleface Dunnett out of Wizen Starlight, owned by C.J. Park.
He's had 4 or 5 different names. A buddy of mine that owns him, he changed his name 3 or 4 times. Right now his name is Tristan, okay? But on the ground, he's a little bit of an adolescent, you could say. He's obnoxious on the ground, wanting to rub on you, wanting to chew on the lead rope, anything. He's obnoxious. But when you're on him, he is solid gold.
It's a 217.5 for Jackson Porth and Tristan. With Adam Hendrickson's 221.5 still unbeaten, here's Danny Tremblay on HF Whizzed in Your Trash by Gonna Trash out of Resting Whiz, owned by Heritage Farms. Danny says this horse has the talent, but tends to get in his own way.
He's a thinker. He thinks all the time, and I think he thinks too much. I'm trying to find a way to get him just more relaxed and stuff, because all the maneuvers are so easy for him, but he's trying to do more than what we need. And it put me in trouble all the time, but I need to find the right way to get him ready. And going to the 430, we're talking about 2 go-rounds in the final, so there's a lot to think about. So I need to have a plan. I'm going to call my friends and see what I can do to help.
Danny and HF Whizzed in Your Trash score a 218 to tie with Jesse Beckley and Got a Little Crush for 5th. So the score holds for Adam Hendrickson and Kay Bella. They are our new 2023 Low Roller Reining Classic Open Futurity champions and $6,000 richer.
I was really happy everywhere. She turned really good. Her transition from one turn to the other turn has been just a little sticky, and this time it was spot on.
When we come back, Your Horse Inside and Out, sponsored by Beringer Ingelheim.
We're going to talk about navicular disease X-rays.
We'll be right back with more Horse of the West. Welcome back to Horse of the West. Your Horse Inside and Out with Dr. Joe Carter is sponsored by Beringer Ingelheim.
Navicular disease X-rays, not Twitter, X-rays, are about as controversial as any subject I can think of in veterinary medicine, at least equine veterinary medicine. There's so much debate between veterinarians about what's significant and what's not significant. To me, when I'm looking at radiographs of a horse's foot, and specifically of the navicular bone, I'm looking at the vascular channels or the blood vessel openings that go into that foot. There are two shapes that I think everybody in the veterinary profession agrees that's normal. That's a straight up and down line and an upside down V. I think the majority of the profession agrees that a vascular channel or blood vessel opening that looks like a lollipop or an oak tree is abnormal. Well, how does it go from a normal looking vascular channel to a lollipop? Well, that's when there's a blood clot. So when you've got this normal blood vessel opening and it gets a clot or some kind of an injury right here, then the bone starts to die that was being supplied by that blood vessel, and then it continues to get bigger and bigger until it finally ends up being this lollipop or oak tree conformation or sign that you see in the horse's x-ray. So when I'm looking at a horse's x-rays, I'm looking for the shape of that vascular channel. I'm looking at it from the front angle, which is the 65, or the skyline. It's always important to look at it from both angles. So if you have any questions about navicular disease in your horse or navicular disease x-rays, contact your local veterinarian, and I'm Dr. Joe Carter with Your Horse Inside Now.
Before making any decisions about your horse's health, be sure to consult with your veterinarian. Your Horse Inside and Out with Dr. Joe Carter is brought to you by the Boehringer Ingelheim portfolio of joint health products, giving horses the freedom to move. Explore the comprehensive collection of brands at bi-animalhealth.com. Be watching in the weeks ahead for coverage of the Arizona Reining Horse Association Best of the West from Scottsdale. I'm Jennifer Reynolds. We'll see you next time on Horse of the West.